we sent out the invitations early, and, we were waiting for the RSVP date, and like absolutely nobody responded. Like
Wow.
not one single person. And I mean, a lot of people have different things going on, right? But I was frustrated and wasn't really sure how to tell them.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Airdrie Inside. I am your host, Chris Glass. I am sporting a brand new haircut thanks to the ride of the Mustang. They raised over $78,000 for pediatric cancer, and that cost me my hair. So a shout out to Counselor Chad Stewart, which originally made the challenge to me and helped my daughter Malia shave my head. So if you're wondering at home why I have short hair, this is why. I'm really excited today. I've got a great guest here with a great story. Dustin Horlacher, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Dustin, I've been following your story for quite some time, and you had reached out to me this year in my role as a counselor to come to the event on June 14th. We'll get to it. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't have been more excited, and I thought this story needs to be told. So I wanted to welcome you to the show so you can tell us all about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's it's a great event that we've been putting on. We're going on our 5th year, and I thought it was important to invite, city council and everybody out to kind of witness what happened, from the Airdrie community and how big it's gotten. And I'm really looking forward to the 5th year.
Yeah, it is an exciting Airdrie-esque story here. But before we get into the actual story, tell me a little about yourself. How long have you been in Airdrie?
I've been in Airdrie, I think about 20 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So long time.
Yeah. Quite a while.
Good. And you've seen, where was home before that?
Before that, I was in Calgary, and before that, I was in Campbell River on Vancouver Island.
Okay. So Calgary, moved to Airdrie, set up shop, build a home, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Start a family, the whole thing.
Excellent. Yeah. So tell me a little about your family.
It's me and my wife. I got my 2 kids. A lot of people know Carson.
Yeah.
He's turning 13. I've got Kipton, my 10-year-old, loves Taekwondo. I got my mom staying with me, so she's been helping out. And that's my family. Yeah.
That's great. So a nice multi-generational family in the house. That's great.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Carson and how this event started.
Carson, as a lot of people know now, he's autistic, and he is a very black and white individual. There is no truth like the truth from an autistic, 13-year-old now. And, he's a good kid and stuff like that. But, 5 years ago, he was writing out invitations for his birthday. And I think that was at the point where it's not like you invite the whole class shows up kind of thing. And, his birthday's in the summertime, and, he has trouble making friends. So, we sent out the invitations early, and, we were waiting for the RSVP date, and like absolutely nobody responded. Like
wow.
Not one single person. And I mean, a lot of people have different things going on, right? But I was frustrated and wasn't really sure how to tell him, because like, as I said, he's black and white. He takes everything very, very seriously, and there's no, like, I don't know for an answer. So I vented on Airdrie Dads, and just wrote a post like, I don't know what to say, right? Like, any advice kind of thing. And then next thing you know, I've got people like, hey, like, I'll come over, or why don't you do this? I want to do that. And I think the post within the first day had a couple hundred people tagging on it. And then before you know it, it's like, okay, well, we can throw a birthday party. And then it got really big, and I'm like, where am I going to throw a birthday party? And then Big Fun reached out, and they're like, hey, like we've got this place, like you can have it here, like come on down. And a lot of people came together, and we decided, like, since all this is happening, we're going to do a fundraiser for Autism Calgary, make something positive kind of come out of this. And invited a bunch of people, and a few hundred people showed up and met a lot of people, and it just turned into this great event that all these people that I never met, never heard from, like kind of came out from the woodworks, and were like, let's do something about this. And, made an awesome party for my son. I never had to tell him that he wasn't having a party. and it was great. And then on the other hand, there was a lot of people that came out because they'd been in the same kind of situation.
Yeah.
And so after the first year, with everything that happened, we kind of decided, like, why don't we do this again? But, you know, it doesn't just have to be about Carson. Like, let's do this for everybody. So, you know, no other dad or family kind of has to go through what we almost went through. And yeah, that's kind of how it started.
Well, I remember your post. I remember it quite vividly at the time when it came out. After you put that post up, when did you realize that this was going to be an event, something bigger? Like, when was that moment where you went from being a frustrated dad who's looking out for his son to hopeful and now planning something that's much larger than you thought?
Oh, within hours.
Within hours.
Yeah, within hours. Yeah. Like, you know, it's kind of like it almost went viral, right? Like Airdrie viral. And it just, like, it was within a couple hours. I'm like, oh my God, like, I, you know, trying to respond to everybody and like, okay, what am I going to do? Where am I going to hold this? Like, you know, like, this is awesome. And trying to, like, I didn't even have time to absorb it. And then it wasn't until, you know, I've got like companies, like I think it was McDonald's, are like, oh, we'd love to give you donuts and, you know, like stuff like this for the party. I'm like, oh my God, this is like huge. So that was kind of the moment for me.
And what was Carson's reaction? Like, you know, he might have probably sent out 30 invitations tops. Like I'm going through as a dad right now. Mm-hmm. No, he maybe sent out 10 to 15. That's kind of the scope of what we could do. What was his reaction to see all these people?
When I told him about it, he was jumping up and down. He was super excited. He was, you know, he couldn't believe it. He's like, oh my God, McDonald's is going to be there and this person's going to be there. And we get to go to Big Fun and all these people, like, they're going to come to my party. And it was huge. Like, it melts your heart as a dad to see that.
Absolutely. I had mentioned on another podcast, I was on Cross Border Network, and he asked me what makes Airdrie so special. And I went back to a Bruce Springsteen line where, you know, the community kind of wraps its arms around you. And that's really what happened here. The Airdrie Dads community rallied around one of their own and really came together. Yeah.
I mean, the Airdrie Dads came out in force, and the whole community just made this great, amazing day for me and my family, and, you know, spurred something that's now making a difference for like hundreds of people. And it's just it's insane that it came from this community. I love it here. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really makes people stay in Airdrie. I'm sure. Like, it makes it so much more special. So we're in year 5. Mm-hmm. So year 1 is a huge success. Mm-hmm. What does the day after that look like? Because now you're going, okay, how do we top that? How do we keep it going? How do we keep the momentum going? What was the next step for you?
It didn't happen right away. It was, you know, we kind of relaxed after that a little bit. It was pretty crazy. But I think it was a couple of months after, and I was talking with Derek Fuller from Big Fun, and I was like, what do you think about doing this again? Like, you know, but make it for everybody. And then,
did you know Derek before?
No.
So now you have this relationship from this. Okay. Just wanted to.
Yeah. No, he reached out to me. I think somebody on Airdrie Dads like tagged him in the post, and then, and so now we talk, and we've been doing it for a while, but we talked, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to do it again. And then talked to Autism Calgary, and I was like, would you guys like to do it again? And then started reaching out to, you know, some of the people that sponsored, and I was like, hey, like, we want to do this again. Like, would you be interested? This is kind of the direction we want to go. And everybody I talked to was like, yeah, let's do this. And then it's just kind of grown from there.
Wow. And then, so you repeat it year after year. Now we're in our 5th year. So what does the organization look like? Like, I'm interested in so much of how, like, something that could have been so negative and just a real frustrating, angry thing has turned into such a wholesome, good thing for the community. So what's year 5 now?
Year 5 is, you know, there's people reaching out that want to be a part of it. I think enough people have started to hear about it that they want to be a part of it and keep making it happen. There's families now that are looking forward to it every year. Yeah. You know, I've had people contact me recently, you know, from Edmonton. They're like, hey, can we come down? I'm like, yeah, it's for everybody. Like, whatever you want to figure out to get down here is cool. Like we're not close, but definitely come on out.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get some traction and get to the point where it is starting to make a difference. I mean, it's put myself in a position where, I can talk about autism with people I normally wouldn't be able to, and do things for my family and for the community that I never would have been able to. So the fifth year is, it's kind of the point where it's taking on a life of its own.
Right.
And
hitting that critical mass.
Yeah. And it's, we're trying to get registered as an actual nonprofit so we can actually do something positive.
Right.
A little bit more so than just doing an event once a year. Connect families with resources and stuff, which we've been able to do at the event, but trying to do a little bit more of that through the website and whatnot.
Right. And, I think of autism and the very nature of how misunderstood it is, because everybody has an idea of what it is, but until you're actually immersed in it, you have no real frame of reference. So and there are people going to be listening to this show who don't have a lot of crossover. So talk to me a little bit about being the parent of an autistic child and what that looks like and how it manifests itself.
For me, before we had Carson diagnosed, I had no idea what autism was.
Yeah.
How to identify it, what to look for or anything. And then, as you started going to school, we started noticing some things and, teachers saying some things. And so we had him assessed and they brought up autism, and it wasn't until they mentioned it. And then my wife and I started looking into it and we're like, oh, okay. Some of these things that are happening are making sense. And, for us, I think we're quite lucky. Like, Carson's very verbal. He communicates, he loves to talk. Which is awesome, but it is also a wide spectrum. Life for us with Carson is wildly different than somebody else with autism that, might have different interests or sensory things, or some of them are nonverbal. So it's been a daily learning experience. Like with Carson is black and white. He's the type of kid where if he does something wrong, gets in trouble with his brother, he'll be right downstairs telling you exactly what happened. He just doesn't understand the need to lie. He's black and white, 100% truth always. And, take it, for what it is. He'll say what's on his mind, and, he does have his special interests, and I wouldn't change the way he is for the world. Again, I've seen families that, have autistic people within the family, and not everybody has it easy. It's,
No.
And even for us, it's, we have our struggles, but, it's a wide spectrum. And I think this event kind of has been good in the fact that a lot of families come out and they can see other families dealing with the same thing.
Yeah.
They can communicate, they can talk about things that work for them. They can talk about school, they can talk about friends, they can make friends. And it's an environment where everybody is safe. Everybody's kind of on the same page. And that's important because, like I said, our situation with Carson is wildly different than every other person we met. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of routine, a lot of structure,
right,
definitely at our house, right? And that works for us. So, yeah.
Well, and when you talk about that connection that families are making, it's so important for people who are going through whatever you're going through to break away from that isolation and meet other people that are going through similar circumstances, and at least know that you're not alone and that there's resources and there's other people there to help you.
Oh, yeah.
Which resources really stuck out to you? Who has been very helpful to you?
Autism Calgary has been great. I talk with them quite a bit more than probably a lot of people, but the staff there, they know the resources, the ins and outs, and they're a really good organization because they're boots on the ground. Autistic families, when they're struggling with their kids in school, I know is always a big thing.
Yeah.
They have people that will go on and do seminars with teachers in classrooms and, teach them about autism. And open up their eyes to something that they maybe would not have thought of. But I mean, they're there, right? They're going to people's houses. They're helping them find resources and, setting them up with different things that they might not need, like helping families get through the FSCD contracts and stuff like that. So they've made a huge difference for sure, like with our, autism journey anyways.
Yeah. What do you think can be done to help out the community?
The autism community?
Yeah. Is it more education? Is it funding? Like, I know in some cases funding is key. I know in other cases, just getting information out there, like you said, the schools aren't really set up to deal with people who learn in any different fashion than just where 80% of the people are. And that's because they're just overwhelmed and that's where they go.
Yeah.
So what do you think we need to do differently?
I personally think education is number one, and normalizing it. I mean, up until I'd say fairly recently, it was very misunderstood. People, they'd see a kid, maybe having a temper tantrum or something like that at Walmart, and they're going to be like, oh, that kid needs to be disciplined. Yeah. He's maybe he's having a sensory overload and the parent's struggling and the kid's having a hard time. People don't understand. They don't get it, right? They think one thing or they see one thing and, they make up their minds. So, for me, I'd say like normalizing it, like it's a very wide spectrum. I can almost guarantee everybody knows somebody that's on the spectrum in some aspect. Whether or not families want to advertise that or not, that's totally cool. But, definitely education, like, teachers can learn about triggers, students, RCMP, like there's a lot of things that I've learned, being a parent of an autistic child that I had no idea about. Yeah. And if it wasn't for having a child on the spectrum, I wouldn't have had a clue. Right. So I think education and awareness and understanding is a major key.
What message would you give to parents of other children who might be in a school situation with somebody with autism or whatnot? Like, I know there's a lot of people who didn't RSVP back. What would you like them to know?
It's not just you. A lot of families are going through that, and stay the course, stick with it, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Yeah. If I wouldn't have made the post that I did and reached out and vented, none of this would have happened. I know a lot of people like to keep it in the chest, and especially guys. Yeah. We don't like to talk, but definitely talk, reach out. It doesn't hurt to ask for help. Somebody will be there. We've
had quite a few guests talking about mental health, and especially for men, people suffer what they're going through in silence because I don't know why we feel weak or we feel asking for help is a sign of weakness. I don't get it. But I've seen so many people rewarded handsomely just by asking for help and putting their hand out and talking about their situation. And I think this is a perfect example of how your community will rally around you.
Oh yeah. Like I think people inherently want to help. They want to do something positive. They want to help. And if you're not afraid to reach out and ask, that help will be there. You just never know where you're going to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next? So you said you're looking at starting a nonprofit. Once you get that done, what's the next step?
I'd like to, make it so I could have like a website or a place where people can find resources. There's a lot of resources for autism and ASD. The unfortunate part and the fortunate part is we're close to Calgary, and that's where the majority of that is. And I mean, if you look at the amount of people that come to this event, the majority are from Airdrie, and there's not a lot here. Yeah. So my hope is that I can do enough with this event to start an organization to actually do more for families locally in Airdrie and provide them with resources that they might need. And that's kind of the end goal, right? And, maybe do more than one event too.
That's awesome. On the 14th, tell me about the event this year, because we're celebrating our 5th anniversary, and we're celebrating Carson and all the other families. So tell me what's going on.
Oh, well, we've got, so far for special guests, we got the Alberta Widow Sons Westgate chapter is going to come out and have a show and shine with their motorcycles.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so anybody that wants to take their pictures with that, that'll be cool. I believe the Shriners are going to come out with their planes. Santa's coming for a visit on the summer holidays.
Excellent.
So the kids will be able to take pictures with that. We got Orchid Balloons is going to do a really cool balloon kind of photo booth thing for anybody that wants to take pictures. We've got coloring contest. I'm going to do a bull riding contest. We're going to raffle off a PS5 Pro.
Oh, wow.
And we've got another company. They're donating a custom game controller for your gaming thing of choice. We're going to have some gift bags. We got cupcakes, birthday cakes for everybody. We got princesses are going to be wandering around. Maybe some superheroes, maybe some athletes, and bunch of silent auction items. There's a little bit of something for everybody. There's gonna be lots of kids, lots of prizes. I think we're gonna have more people out this year trying to get in touch with Guinness World Records, because I'm pretty sure we're pushing the envelope for biggest birthday party.
So how many people are you expecting?
Last year we had 707 in 3
Wow.
hours. So far we've got it for 4 hours. We can extend it. So I'm looking at 800 to 1,000 probably this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Carson's wildest imaginations, 800 to 1,000 people coming to a birthday party. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's insane. And the other kids too that have come and celebrated too, to see them when they show up, and it's celebrate your birthday. Here's a birthday cake, have fun. Right. And the smiles on their faces and everything. It's just awesome. And some of the families I know too, one of our sponsors made it so you can come for free, right? Or $2 donation is all we ask.
Yeah.
And that's mainly just to make sure that people that want to come actually show up. But and it's open for everybody. And if you can't afford $2, then you just walk up and say you're on the VIP list and you walk right on in. So, the families that might not be able to afford to go to a place like Big Fun and have a big party or something like that they can all show up, right? So I think that's one of the biggest thing that's happened is, the ability to make it accessible now for everybody.
That is really cool. It sounds like this is going to take a village to make happen. So who would you like to thank? Is there people that have been there from the beginning? Who would you like to thank while we have the opportunity here?
Well, definitely Derek from Big Fun. He's been huge. And my family, my mom, she helps out a lot. My wife, she sticks by me while I'm dealing with this. Double Star where I work, right? They've been very good because they know when it gets close to this time, I can get pretty flaky at work. And they always will sponsor the event, but they are right there with me, giving me a job where I can actually do this, which is nice. And, I've got my admin group on the Facebook page, right? They're there to, see everything. And, Autism Calgary too has been a huge help. They're there, they're helping me get the QR codes and, spread the word and everything else. I think, there's a lot of people, Air 106, right? They're spreading the word all the time. Right. And, people like you, right? Help me get the word out. Yeah.
Well, I knew this was a story we had to tell. I know we were talking about just sharing a post and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I think we could do one better because, like I said, this is the kind of stuff that makes this community so special to me is seeing ordinary people kind of doing some extraordinary things, right? Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to me how things start and where they end up growing to. So, and we've heard a lot of these origin stories of these amazing events and these amazing movements that started from a very simple birthday party or a very simple conversation. So it's really cool to be a part of the telling the story and weaving that tapestry of our city. Yeah, no, I mean, it's amazing. I'm very thankful to be a part of this city. And, from day one, just a quick little anecdote. So I remember the first day I moved to Airdrie, I knew the difference. And
went and I ordered pizza from Alexander's and went over there to go pick it up. And then I sat down. They're like, oh, like it's going to be a minute or two, you know, would you like a drink? Don't worry about it. And like, they're actually talking and super friendly.
Yeah.
You know, night and day from what I was used to in Calgary, where it's like, you just, you know, sit there and wait and nothing. Like, you know, felt like a lot closer. Like, it's like, you know, the city with a small town feel. Yeah. And right then and there, I was like, yeah, I know, like, I'm not going anywhere, right? I'm going to stay here. And then I'm glad I did, because, you know, the community did this for my family and so many other families.
So where can I go to find more information?
So we've got our website where it's carsonandfriends.org, and all our sponsors are up there. The address, a little bit of information about the poster. The website's still growing. We're going to have some more resources and stuff on that. But the biggest thing is our Facebook group. Like, that's where 90% of, you know, all my posts and all the information and everything will be on the Facebook group, and Carson and Friends organization on Facebook. And yeah, you'll see everything. That's where I'm doing most of my updates.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to the event. I can't wait. And thank you so much for coming on the show and spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Perfect. We're going to be back with more great episodes coming up shortly. Thank you.